Welcome to the podcast series Africast. Allow us to introduce ourselves. We are Jaimee,
Marius, and Patrick.
And we are students of the Technical University of Munich with different study backgrounds. Africa is an emerging continent. In particular, Ghana is one of the fastest growing economies worldwide. We would like to raise awareness for the academic environment in Ghana. But why do we focus only on Ghana? Last year, the Technical University of Munich established a scientific collaboration with different universities in Ghana. We have the impression that there's a lot of potential for more people to learn about this. So we hope that this podcast sparks your personal interest and that you share it with your friends and family if you liked it. And now, enjoy.
Welcome. Thanks for coming here today. It's great to have you. Can you maybe tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, my name is Michael Anokye. I was born in Ghana, born and raised. Had all my education in Ghana. I was in the eastern part of Ghana for my basic school and for the secondary school. It was until when I had to go to the university that I had to move to a different region, which is the central part of Ghana. So I went to University of Cape Coast for my bachelor.
Mm-hmm. And Cape Coast is in which region?
It's in the central part of Ghana, central region.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And did you have to adapt when you moved to one region from the other?
For me, it wasn't a huge problem because they speak Twi just like people in the eastern part of Ghana, but you have some variance. The way they twist the tongue and how they speak it. But it's very easy to understand them, unless probably they speak something or they have specific words that the Fantis have a way of saying it and the other region has a different way of saying it. So it's just a matter of, if you don't understand, you just ask. But it's not so difficult to adapt.
Okay. But Twi is the most common language in Ghana, right?
Yeah, Twi is the most common language, I think, widely spoken. Most people speak Twi. So if you speak Twi to most of the people, they do understand.
Yeah, so like between the eastern and central region, it's kind of similar. But then again, you have other regions, right?
If you go far north, I think the Twi is not so popular there, but they still can understand to some extent, and probably the people who understand you but cannot speak it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but they do. It's wide, so most of the people in one way or the other, because some of them also come down south, so most of them understand the language.
So, like in everyday life, when you go to the shop or on the street, you will usually speak Twi to people.
Yes.
But in school and in the university?
Well, in school, the official language is English, and that's what everybody is speaking. But, for instance, lectures and everything is held in English, and official meetings, everything is in English. And you meet your friends, it depends on who you are talking to. You can either speak Twi or you can speak the English language. So it basically depends.
Yeah, okay. And more about yourself. So you studied at the UCC, right? What did you study there?
I did my bachelor in agricultural science. It's more of a general agricultural science. So there is no specialization. You do every bit of agriculture. You do soil science, crop science, animal science. You do some economics and extension. Yeah, you do engineering. Very general, so it's very general.
Yeah. And then you finished your bachelor's there, right?
Yeah, that's where I finished the bachelor.
Okay, and what was your next step then when you finished?
So after the bachelor, I had plans to be in academia. So I decided to stay with the university to do my national service, which is a program for everybody. When you finish the first degree, you serve the government for 1 year.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So they can post you anywhere.
Anywhere.
They distribute us all over the country, so you can be posted anywhere. But then in my case, it was special because I wanted to stay with the department that I work. And even though I was posted to a different place, I had to be reposted to because the department was ready to let me work in that department. So I was reposted there, and I serve as a teaching assistant.
Yeah, at a teaching assistant at UCC, right?
At UCC, yes.
Yeah. So you were kind of lucky that you didn't have to go to a different region. You could stay in Cape Coast.
Yeah, I stayed exactly where I had my first degree, so I had to stay in Cape Coast.
And so you served for 1 year. And did they pay you during that year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not for free. The government give you something. It's not so much, but at least it's something.
Yeah. And it's for men and women, right?
Yeah, it's for men and women.
Everybody has to.
Everybody has the opportunity to do the national service.
Okay. So what next? What after the national service for you? What did you decide to do next?
Yeah. So after service, I wanted to move further to do my master's and probably in the future do my PhD. So like I said, I wanted to teach and to do research, and I find the university as an avenue for that. So
you wanted to do research as well?
Yeah, to teach and to research.
Yeah, and but then you also came to Germany, right? So maybe tell us a bit about that. Like, how did you come to Germany? Why did you decide to come here?
Yeah, I think Germany is a popular destination for most of us because they have this policy where you don't have to pay tuition fee. And that is one good thing. And that's why most people make a decision to come here, because if we have to go to other places, you have to pay high tuition fees, and it's usually impossible for us without scholarship. And with the scholarships that we have, it's not so many, and they are really competitive. So it's hard to get those scholarships. And if Germany is offering you free tuition, you only have to pay for your living expenses and still get the same thing. I mean,
so it's a good
option. A good deal to come here.
Yeah, and you're here for your master's now, right? Yeah. And when you're finished with that, do you plan to go back to Ghana? Yeah,
I have plans of going back to Ghana after my studies.
Mm-hmm. And you will keep working in academia or in research?
Yeah, I'll still go back into academia. But I also have plans to do PhD in the future.
Okay, okay. And the PhD, could you do that in Ghana?
Yeah.
At the UCC?
Yeah, you can do it in Ghana. They have opportunities for that. But sometimes you also need different experiences, because I did my bachelor and everything there. Mm-hmm. And sometimes you might want to explore other opportunities, other avenues.
Yeah, okay. You also mentioned tuition. What's tuition like in Ghana? Do students have to pay for university? Is it difficult to afford it, to go to university?
Yeah, it's quite a problem for most people to afford it, because especially with the government, even though with the government that is subsidized, you have to pay less, it's still a problem for people. And for the private ones, it's just impossible for some people.
Impossible.
Yeah. So it's a huge challenge for most of the people, because we don't have like a lot of scholarship to cater for everybody.
Yeah. It's difficult.
It's very difficult.
Yeah.
So most people are eliminated just because of they are unable to pay for tuition and pay for living expenses. So they consider different options.
Mm-hmm. So did you know friends in high school that wanted to go to university and couldn't afford it?
Yeah, I have a couple of friends. They had the zeal to, pursue further studies, but the support wasn't there.
Oh, the support was lacking.
Yeah, the support wasn't there. So if you don't have parents or maybe sibling or someone who is willing to help you, then probably you might have to consider other options.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So I think this also leads to another topic, because I heard that UCC has a program called Sandwich Students.
Yeah.
Or there are students who are called sandwich students. Maybe can you tell us about that?
Yeah, with the sandwich students, they usually come in. These are people who are usually, I describe them as a working class. Mm-hmm. So during the long break, when the university is on long break, they come and also enroll in some programs depending on what they are looking out for. And they study for that period between 2 to 3 months. And they also
break,
during the break, during the normal regular academic break, then they also will step in and do it within that 3 months.
Yeah, and the rest of the time they're working.
Yeah.
Okay, but they still get full degrees from that study program.
Yeah,
then.
they get degrees from it.
Yeah,
they get degrees from it.
So does it take twice as much time as a regular degree if you're doing it as a sandwich student because you're only studying during the break?
Most of them is, you have to do so many things within just a short time. So, they give them so much information and you have to process that within a short time.
Yeah.
Unlike the regular students, they have more time to go through the process. But they give you all of them the degree.
It's more stressful for them.
Yeah, a bit stressful for them.
And how many of these sandwich students does UCC have? Is it a common program? Do many people take this opportunity? Yeah,
a lot of people take that opportunity. They have huge. They have quite a huge number, but I don't have the records now, the statistics now to show you. But they have a huge number compared to the regular students.
Yeah, and would you say that it's also a growing program where more people are deciding to do it?
Yeah, I think it's something that people are considering now, and they even have the distance learning too, where people also come during the weekends to study. They are also
distance learning.
Yeah, distance learning. So mostly weekend classes. They also follow. They have special programs that they do follow. So this thing is kind of becoming something that people are really considering because of the flexibility that it gives them, aside working and also having to get a degree.
Yeah, that's interesting. It sounds like it's a lot of work for these people. Also with distance learning where they work for 5 days a week, I assume, and then on the weekends they study as hard as they can.
Yeah, it's really hard. It's really hard for them.
Yeah.
But I think it's for most of them is the best option for the time frame to get what they want because you need a certificate for other things. Some of them need it for promotion and other stuff. So
yeah, interesting. Can you maybe, because you were at UCC, so can you maybe tell us what do you miss about UCC? What did you like during your studies there?
Yeah, I think mostly, I'm comparing here in Germany in terms of the student life. I think here the people are more closed. More closed. Students go for lectures, they come, they are in their rooms studying and all that. But I think in UCC, and the student life in UCC is more of the social thing. Student, like if I'm going for lecture, I call my friend, we go together. And especially on weekends, we have, especially in the male halls.
The male halls,
yeah. We have something like morale, where we can sing for hours, create our own songs with our own instruments.
Really? You make your own music then?
Yeah, we make our own music. We sing a lot. We usually do this on Fridays and Saturdays after a stressful week, just to, we call it stress reliever. It's something that I never find here. People still have parties and all that, but even the parties, noise and everything is regulated. And within a particular time frame, like after 10, you have to probably bring down the volume of everything. Yeah, but that is one thing that I miss. In Ghana University, but I don't have it here.
So it's called morale, right?
Yeah, it's morale.
So you
mostly
meet and you relieve the stress, and everybody plays instruments and sings songs.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and you also mentioned that you have people from different regions at the university, from different regions of Ghana. So they all take part in these activities.
Yeah. It's I think the university is a big platform where we also meet people from different regions, because we usually don't have the opportunity, or maybe our finances doesn't allow us to travel to all parts of the region to meet all the people. And one thing is for sure, people do things differently. People from the northern part, people from the southern part, they do things. There are a bit of things that we do differently. But if you don't meet the people, you don't know how they do things. So university is a big platform where you meet all these different people with different cultures, different approach to life, different way of dressing, different way food.
Food dressing.
So it's that big platform that you get to meet different people.
So, for example, for dressing, you can even can you recognize people from different regions just by the way they are dressed?
Yeah. Especially people from the northern part of Ghana. they have this dress called batakari.
Batakari.
Yeah, and with this batakari dressing, I mean, when they dress, you know, I mean, this is a dress from the northern part of Ghana. But then people in the down south now are adopting it. But I mean, the phenotype and the way they speak the language, you're able to identify that these people are from the northern part of Ghana.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But you're saying that it's a great thing at university where everybody comes together and you learn more about the
other
different
people.
Parts of the country.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And does that also apply to international students? Do you also have people from the other countries that are around Ghana? For example,
you mean people living outside Ghana? Yeah, we also have international students from neighboring countries. Like we have people from Nigeria, we have people from Liberia, we also have people from the French-speaking country like Ivory Coast.
Yeah, Ivory Coast, yeah.
Yeah, Togo. They all come. But I think it's more skewed to people, the English-speaking countries, because, I mean, Ghana speaks English. So
yeah.
It makes it very easier for them to fit into the system. Because if you are from French and you don't speak English at all, the thing is you have to come to Ghana. You have to learn the English for a period before you start your program. Okay, so for the French, one, you have to deal with language. Yeah. Then after language, before you go into the real thing that you want to study in Ghana. So I think most of the time we have people from the English-speaking country. I mean, it's skewed towards the English-speaking people. Okay. So we have a lot of Nigerians, for instance, on campus.
Yeah, yeah. And just to clarify, by French, you mean people from the Ivory Coast, for example, who have French as a language at school.
Yeah, they speak French, Togo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Togo as well, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But you also met some people from those backgrounds, right?
Yeah, I've had opportunity to meet some of them in the university and to stay with some of them.
Stay with them?
Yeah.
You mean like live with them?
Yeah, live with them in the same apartment.
Ah, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, that sounds very interesting.
Yeah.
And maybe to finish off, what would you say is a similarity between studying in Ghana and studying in Germany? What's the same in both countries?
I think in terms of academic, they all push you to the limits. They give you so much information. You have to process this information. Yeah. You have to write quizzes, do presentations, go for tutorials and everything. I think it's the same in Ghana. And if I should give you one example, there were times that in Ghana you have this system where you have to write quizzes. You assess based on quizzes that you write and the final exam that you write. So you do like 2-3 quizzes.
Okay, so more than one
per semester. You do like 2 or 3 quizzes. Then at the end of the semester, you have to write your exam. So sometimes because mostly during the normal lecture period, the rooms are occupied. So we have to come early to write a quiz very early in the morning.
Yeah, so we don't have enough rooms for everything.
Yeah, because they have the rooms, but the thing is, because it's an exam, we need to spread the people out. So something that we can use one room for, because it's exams, we might need 4 rooms. Because we need to spread out the student. So we need more rooms. And during the normal lecture period, you don't have that opportunity. So you have to come early, do the quizzes before normal lecture starts.
How early do you mean?
So sometimes we are writing quizzes like 5 a.m., 5:30 a.m.
That's crazy. Yeah.
And the problem for students is if you don't live very close to the university, it's really hard for you because you might have to move from that place to the lecture. Or sometimes people decide to patch with friends, write the quiz the next day, then go away. Especially those who live very far away from the university.
Okay, that's also interesting. Yeah, didn't know about that. All right, so to close off, maybe one last thing. Do you want to say, maybe to German listeners who might be interested in going to Ghana? What would you want to say to them? What advice would you have?
It's a good country, and we wish they come there. One thing is, especially for students, I mean, I have had the opportunity to speak to a lot of Germans, and I don't know, maybe people have different things about Africa, but some of them are not proven and they don't even know the facts correctly. I met one guy who asked me, I mean, the person wanted to ask me a question, and he was like, is it true that in Africa, when you are working, a tiger can attack you?
What?
I was like, no, that doesn't happen. Who told you that? Then said, she heard it, then said, no. These are a lot of misconceptions. So sometimes the people should explore, come to Africa, see things for themselves. Apart from, they go for holidays to different places. They should also consider coming to Africa. Coming to Ghana.
Exactly. So information is the key, basically.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you a lot. I think that you told us a lot about what you experienced in Ghana and what studying there looks like. So maybe people here can imagine it a little bit more. Thank you for being with us.
All right. Thank you for having me too.